This is my 223 bag. Okay, it's a little heavy. I got some extra stuff here, but this, I have everything in here to keep my S&W M&P 556 fed. I think that's the model is. I don't know that much about it. I still have my professional hammer hickory axe handle that everyone made fun of. This is the old, I think this thing's older than I am. It's raining. Shows you how long I've used it. The rubber band is falling apart. This is my Lee loader in the 223. I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Here's something I'll point out. I have the one, it's a 556, shoots a 223. This works well for it. Okay. Now there's discussion, it's been said where if I'm loading for this one firearm, because this does not resize the necks, this part here, it may not fit in another rifle of the same caliber, because the rifle itself is doing the resizing. Okay, if you understand that part. And it's true. I don't know. I have another 223 that I'm gonna try to do a little experiment with, but I gotta do some background on the headspace issue. I don't know if it's gonna be dangerous or not. But what I'm saying, the reason I bring this up, a lot of people say, well, this is kind of a starter kit. This really isn't that professional. It's very proficient. It gets the job done. And if you only have the one rifle, what do you care if it doesn't fit in another rifle, unless you're selling your ammo? Okay. And let's say you have two rifles. You have two in 5.56 or 270 or 308 or whatever. These are only 40 bucks. Buy one for each. You're still at just 40 bucks a piece. You buy a die, you buy a turret setup, single press, the dies are 60, 70 bucks. Much less that thing's 150, which they're a great tool to have, but you still get by with this, the Lee Classic. This is a real old one. The newer ones are all plastic up like this, but anyhow, that's the point I wanted to make about that. I'll show you, I did some shooting today. I'm finding out that this little jewel here, this thing's quite accurate. Okay. Almost no trigger. Very light trigger pull, but accurate. Today I went out and shot some of my original loads in 38. It's the first thing we ever loaded. My Ragu jar full. And an example, this is one of them here. Very pretty, brand new brass. We didn't use these. This is what you would call a hand load. Or when you use fresh brass, it's called one thing. When you're reloading old brass, it's called another. I can't remember which it is. You get the idea. This is brand new all the way around. Okay, 38 caliber. I think we used IMR 700X or something. Funny thing, the first round or two, I put one round in, fired it, put one round in, fired it, and I'm catching my empties. First one comes out. I don't know if you see this. Let me do it real slow here. Oh, I want to pour it out. You can't. It's all falling in the. Oh, here we go. See that black stuff there, just sneaking around. Looks like pepper. Okay, those are little discs. This particular brand, they're little flat discs. This powder, smokeless powder, is, like I said, I believe this was IMR 700X. Wasn't burned. That's out of one round right there. Okay. You're saying, well, what's the big deal? Well, it did burn all the powder. That's not good. They said this is the first batch we ever did. Didn't quite know what we were doing. We learn as we go. And fired a few more rounds, and they were snug placing him in the wheel in the revolver. I'm like, this isn't suspect is the word. Let me show you what happens here. Long story short, there's a step you do, whether it's a Lee Classic or a Dillon or whatever it is, where you crimp the sides of the brass, the shell, whatever you call it, into the bullet. That holds the bullet in place. Okay. And you want a certain amount of crimpage, of pressure on that thing to hold that bullet. You hit the primer struck, it ignites the powder, the explosion happens, and you want that pressure to build, and boom, the bullet releases. Okay? Well, we weren't getting all the powder burnt, so the bullet was taken off too soon. Hard to stick into the revolver, because there's some issue here. We didn't crimp it enough. Okay? That whole ragu jar, probably all of them, aren't crimped enough. Okay, I was not burning all the powder, and I mean, you could get them in there, but you would matter of fact, I'll show you. Do this without shooting myself. Yes. Okay. And forced it in. Okay. Get that out of there. That one wasn't so bad. I had some others that were worse. So we had, this was with a Dillon 500. And you make adjustments as you go. The first few you don't get right, but we really had no way of checking. We weren't necessarily had a shooting range right there. And so then what do I do? I've got these aren't crimped enough. I'm not burning all the powder, so I'm losing some potential here. Yeah, I don't see it. So what are my options? These aren't bad loads. They still fire, but they're just not reaching their potential. I have that little, looks like a hammer. You place the bullet in it. Boom, you tap it. It knocks the bullet out, knocks the powder out. And you basically have your powder's all poured out now in this little container, and you have your bullet. You can reload it, or do it again. That's an option, but that you really need to go that far. I could just take this and recrimp it, just as it is, okay? Which is probably what I'll do. I'll run all these through, crimp them again, make them a little bit tighter, okay? Recover some of that pressure, burn all the powder, and have a higher performance round when I'm finished. But anyhow, as far as these things, this didn't end up. They're hard to place. I'm not burning all the powder. And I remembered these aren't crimped enough. Anyhow, I've talked long enough. I just went out there today to get some, to create some empties so we can put the